What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my drama-free, for the most part, YouTube channel, and thank you all for 34,000 subscribers. You know what time it is. That's right, it's time to color in another bar on the subscriber board. It's been a minute since I've seen you guys, and while I was away, we ripped from 32 to 34K. I appreciate the support. 34,000. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Not a sponsor. Now, before we jump into this mega update video, I want to let you know that the Heater Zone hats are now back in stock on theheaterzone.com. All of the original styles are back, and we now have some new additions to the lineup as well. The limited edition all white, or Walter Whites, as me and my boy ZK all day have been calling them, are some of my favorites. The black camo heater fish hat that you all see me wearing in the videos all the time is back in stock. So if you would like to take a look at what heater headwear we have to offer, hit the top link down below in the video description. Head on over to the Heater Zone and scoop yourself a new lid. They are high quality premium apparel, proudly made right here in Texas. So check them out if you're interested in supporting the channel. Thank you to everybody who has already bought a hat. Without you, none of this happens. So much love. Today's video is going to be an update video. I'm going to talk to you about what has been going on with me lately, tell you about some recent changes that have occurred, and I'm finally going to show you something that I've been keeping a secret for around a year or more. First up, I want to apologize for the absence and lack of uploads here lately. The truth is, while I have such amazing, uplifting support from the vast majority of you watching, the internet can be a pretty brutal and negative place. So every once in a while, for my own mental well-being, I take a step back, reset, decompress, so that I can come back refreshed and ready to continue on the positive and peaceful mission, making videos that I enjoy making. I feel that I've done that, and I'm once again ready to get back on the grind. So expect things to return to normal and uploads to resume on a regular basis, just as they always have after I have to take a step back from YouTube. And I want to say thank you to all the people who continue to show me love and support here on the channel. You are what drives me to continue, and I literally could not do this without you. There seems to be a fair bit of negativity and petty back and forth in the online fishing community lately. I'm sure some of you have seen it, and some have even attempted to drag me into it. That is not what I'm about. I do not enjoy confrontation. I refuse to take part in public bickering. Personally, when I watch a video, I have no desire to see or listen to grown men bash one another or argue virtually or call each other out on the internet. So I'm going to continue striving to make this a positive place and do my best to make the kind of content that I enjoy watching myself. I'm going to stick to fishing, filming, and failing upward on YouTube. But I'm back, we're back, and I'm excited to share some of the things that I'm about to show you. Quickly, on a slightly more personal note, I recently found out that both my grandfather and my sister Jamie have COVID. While they were recovering, I elected to take some additional time away from social media to focus on what is most important: family, and to make sure that they were both getting the care that they needed. They're both doing well and winning the fight. We do not go down without a fight. But if you have any well wishes, positive vibes, or prayers that you would care to send, please leave them in the comments. Peepaw and Jamie, if you're watching, I love you. You got this, and we are all here for you. But we are back, and I'm happy to be here making another video for you, and this one is a big one. Another update, and I promise this one is a bit more fun. A while back, I posted on my personal Facebook page about how I was considering purchasing a different vehicle. I made that post seeking advice and guidance from friends and colleagues. Practically every car buying experience that I have ever been through has been a drag. I was not trying to sit in a dealership for hours upon end while the salesman went back and forth with the boss in the back while offering me a bottle of water. I've been down that road multiple times in the past, and I was not willing to waste an entire day just to secure a deal on a vehicle. I had a lot of responses, and I got some great input. I had multiple offers from folks willing to help me avoid the BS and get me taken care of without a bunch of hassle. I even had people willing to do the entire deal over the phone or online and deliver the vehicle to me without me even having to leave the house. Thank you to everyone who responded to that post. A special shout out to my homie Dave the Mangler for his help. I heard from several people that now is not the best time to buy, and also got some great leads on some nice vehicles. A bit of time passed since I made the post, but after sleeping on it for a week or two, I decided to go ahead and see if I could find the right deal. I needed a V8, I needed 4-wheel drive, and I needed to get what I owed on my truck at trade-in. Beyond that, I did not care about the bells or whistles. I did not need anything fancy. I just wanted something that would pull the boat down the highway and up and down any boat ramp in the country. My last truck was a V6, and it screamed anytime I would go up a steep hill. And I was always worried about going to launch at other lakes without knowing the condition of the ramp because I did not have 4-wheel drive. It would pull the boat just fine once I got going, but it was less than ideal. It was hard on that truck, and I was always putting the engine through some stress, getting it up to speed, especially with the new 21-foot rig. I always knew that I would need to upgrade eventually. My friend Dave, who I mentioned, sent me a link to a truck that fit all of my requirements. I decided to see if it was still available and to see if the dealership would make me a deal. They ended up giving me well above what I owed on my truck and got my payment right where I needed it to be in order to close. So I pulled the trigger on this truck. This is my new to me 2019 Ford F-150. It has a 5.0 V8, it has 4-wheel drive, it has extremely low miles for a 3-year-old truck, and it is bone stock. Just the way I wanted it. I'm stoked on it. I know people will have their opinions, as the truck debate is never ending, Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge, etc. And while this might not be the perfect truck, or it might not be the perfect truck for some of you, it is the perfect truck for me, at least for right now, and I'm extremely happy and blessed to own it. I have a couple things in mind that I want to do to it, but if you have any modification suggestions, or if you know anything that I should do to this thing to make it better, please let me know in the comments. I don't want to touch the engine or the exhaust. I don't need any more power, and I don't want it to be loud. I am the old man and I enjoy silence on the road. But I am open to the idea of some off-road modifications, maybe a brush guard or off-road bumper, wheels and tires, etc. So let me know what I should do down below in the comments. I also want to give a shout out to Bruce at Mac Hake Ford for providing me with the best vehicle buying experience that I have ever been a part of. It was by far the smoothest, easiest, and most carefree deal that I've ever made. The part that took me the longest was the test drive. I took my time and I made sure that it was the right truck. Everything else was smooth as butter and we were in and out in no time. So thanks to them for helping me make this happen. Let me know what you guys think of the new truck. Full disclosure, all "you should have bought a Chevy" comments will be ignored. This is my 4th or 5th F-150 and they have always been amazing trucks for me. So that is what I went with and I'm happy, and that's all that really matters. Now for the big one. I'm finally able to talk about something that I'm so excited to share with you. This is something that I've been keeping quiet about for a long time, and I can finally tell you more about it. Some of you have noticed, most of you might not have, but for months I have been fishing with, testing, and developing my own line of fishing rods with 6th Sense. I've seen some of you leave comments or send me DMs asking about them, and it always comes up when I do a live stream over on Instagram. I've always been ambiguous in my responses, and I would just say something like "stay ready" or "stay tuned," and I've never really given much detail. Well, now I can give you details. I'm so happy to be able to announce and show you the upcoming heater series from 6th Sense Fishing. Like I said, Casey and I have been developing these rods for about a year, and they are finally in production. I can't give you a firm date due to the current state of the world, but I can tell you that these rods will be available for you all in the coming months, and I cannot wait for you to get your hands on these bad boys because they are awesome. I have a few models here that I can show you. Like I said, I know some of you have seen me fishing with these in the videos, so they haven't been kept completely under wraps, but this is your first up close and personal look at the heater series rods, the first of their kind. The cosmetics and appearance on the final version will be different. This is not what they will look like, but I can tell you that the final version absolutely blows these out of the water, and the heater series rods that will be available for all of you are so much more insanely cool than these prototypes. They will be exactly what you have come to know about my style and visuals. For those of you who have seen my website, theheaterzone.com, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the heater series will fit right in with the bold, bright, and vibrant stylings that you see on my merchandise and my personal logos and intro here on the videos. But you will have to wait to see the final form. You are going to be so stoked on what we have come up with as far as the aesthetics are concerned, but we wanted to get the action and the power dialed before we tackled cosmetics, and I believe that we have done that. First up, I will tell you that this one here is without a doubt the best swim jig rod that I have ever used. I'm probably most excited about this one. Whether you knew it or not, you have seen me throwing the swim jig on this rod for months. This is the rod that I was using to skip the Divine up under the docks and boats in the Kyle video. It is absolutely dialed for throwing the swim jig, and I have caught so many fish and boat flipped them all with no issue. The sensitivity and build quality is on par with what you would expect from a 6th Sense fishing rod, and no corners were cut while developing the models that we intend to offer. This is a 7-foot 4-inch medium heavy fast, but it fishes more like a moderate fast, especially with a heavier jig tied on. It is my favorite swim jig rod that I own. It is so dialed for that technique. I'm spoiled by the Sensory series, but I have completely transitioned to this rod for throwing that bait. It is also extremely versatile. I wanted to create a rod that was ideal for throwing the swim jig, but also wanted it to be able to cover multiple bases. You can throw a swim jig on this rod. You can throw a chatterbait on this rod. You can throw a crankbait on this rod. It is so extremely versatile, but once you start swimming a jig on this bad boy, you are going to instantly feel exactly what I'm talking about. It is a full-blown heater and game changer when it comes to throwing the squim jig. I've put this rod through the absolute ringer. It is real-world tested and has been on the deck of my boat since the day I got my hands on it. Full-blown seal of approval from me, guys. And if you decide to try one, I'm confident you will not be disappointed. I can't wait for you to be able to get this, but that's not all. The heater series will be available in multiple powers and actions. This next one that I'm going to show you is one that I use a lot. This one is the shorter 6 foot 9 inch medium moderate. If you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love throwing a weightless fluke or flush, the soft plastic jerk bait, and this rod is designed for that technique and for throwing topwater walking style baits like the Catwalk or Dogma, as well as the Provoke 106X hard plastic jerk bait. Another extremely versatile rod. I have also been using it to throw popper style baits like the Splashback 70 or the old school Rebel, and it absolutely dominates in all of those categories. I can pitch and twitch with this thing for 8+ hours, no issue, no fatigue, and the action is incredible. With just these two rods, you can utilize a multitude of techniques, and that is what I was going for when working on these. Next up is the 7 foot 5 inch heavy fast. I've been using this for heavy bottom contact, Carolina rigs, frogging, and for throwing the bigger sized whopper ploppers, and it is a killer. For those of you that like the beefier gear, this one is for you, and I have no doubt that it will rip any fish through any cover, and the boat flip boogie will be no issue for this model. Those are the three that I'm going to show you now, but we have a couple other tricks up our sleeve in regards to action and power, so stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled for when things drop to see other models in the lineup. My goal is to be able to cover all the ground and eventually replace all my rods with the heater series. Let me know in the comments what kind of powers and actions you would like to see offered. I would love to hear your feedback on these, but keep in mind that the final version will look a bit different from these that I've shown you here, and I'm confident that you will be juiced on how they turned out. We set it off with the visuals. This will be a crowd pleaser and an attention seeker. So that's the big one. That's the news I've been keeping to myself for the past year, and I hope you're all as excited as I am. Thank you to Casey and the entire team at 6th Sense for being so willing to work with me on these, for listening to my ideas and working through the development process with me. It was a collaborative effort, and I'm extremely happy with how things have gone. I'm so grateful to have been given this opportunity. Never in a million years did I think I would get my own custom series of rods. I'm so blessed. Thank you to everyone involved. I'm hoping that these will be available later this year or early 2022, but I'll keep you all updated on that, and we'll be sure to announce it all on all of my social media when they finally drop. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. You can find links in the description to all of my accounts. Now, while this is an update video from here in front of the tackle wall, I have been fishing a lot, and I have content stacked and ready for editing. I'm going to go out and catch fish on a bait that you have never seen me throw before, and I went out in a massive rainstorm and got trapped under a slip, hiding out from the storms for a couple hours before heading out in the drip to throw topwater baits at some fired up fish. I've got some more big swim bait action in the pipeline, and lots of other cool stuff planned now that we have upgraded the tow rig. So stay ready for all of that and more coming soon here on the channel. I've also got to take a moment to let you all know about the massive sale that 6th Sense is currently having in order to make room for new inventory that will be arriving. They are offering the biggest savings in company history with 60+% off select items. This is without a doubt the best time in history to load up on some 6th Sense heaters. Take advantage of the biggest discounts ever and use code JR10 for an additional 10% off at checkout. That's 70% off select items, so don't sleep on this one. As always, anyone who uses my code gets a shout out on my Instagram. Just take a screenshot of your order confirmation that you will receive once you've used the code, DM it to me on Instagram at @TheJustinRoyal, and I will post it up, tag your account on my story, and give you some public recognition for helping us keep the lights on and the cameras rolling so that we can continue to bring you free fishing content here on YouTube. Keep your eyes peeled for the heater series. Hit up the 6th Sense sale, and be sure you are subscribed to this channel to help us hit 35,000. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to watch this video, but that's about all I got for you today. That about does it. That about wraps her on up. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and I'll see you on the next one.